First, you want to create one section in your menu. This is the horizontal menu. If you click on it, you can make sure that it's showing up on all the pages, which you definitely want to make sure that's happening. Okay, now don't worry about stretching it out or changing it quite yet. We're going to work on one page at a time. Eventually, you're going to have your home page. Maybe you have your resume page, maybe a link to a different website that you've created, but then you'll have 4 families of the in-task standards. Okay, but before we can fix this, we have to actually create the pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Manage the Menu, and you will see that I've already created a Learner and Learning page. Now, what is this? This is a sub page, and I want to have one of those as well. But I'm going to have actually, I think, 4 different things pop up, or is it 3? Let me go back and look. I'm going to have 1 for each. It's 3. Standard 1, Standard 2, and Standard 3. But you'll notice that this is going to have a page of its own. So I'm going to click on it right now. Oh, and look at how she did it. She made a link to Standard 1 Learner Development, and this is what it is, or Standard 2 or Standard 3. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create this page, which is what we're looking at. And then we're going to link, just like she has, to this, Standard 1. I want to show you yet another example of it's kind of like a waiting room. And it's this page, which will inside of it have links to all 3 of these. So she set hers up a little bit differently. I'm going to click on this. But again, she has links. It's very simple. Right here, it kind of changes shades, and that means that it's a live link, and then 2, and then 3. So what we're working on today is getting just Learner and Learning, and then Standard 1. So let me click to that, and we'll see what hers looks like. And then I'm going to go back to our other example, do the same thing. We're on Standard 1. There are 4 things that must be on each page, but I'm going to come back to that after we figure out how to create that waiting room. So remember, I went back to my home page, and I am managing my menu, right? So hold on, I'm going to manage my menu, and this is what it looks like. So your template that you chose may have another title in here. That's perfectly fine. All you need to do is click the 3 little dots, and then you can come over here and you can rename it whatever you want. So you need to rename the first one Learner and Learning. After you do that, we're going to create Standard 1, and we're going to put it right underneath. It's a sub page. So on this one, I'm going to click on it. And wait a minute, what's my title? It is Standard 1 Learning Development. I want to write that out exactly. So I'm going to change the title right here. Ooh, that's a mess. But I don't care right now. I'm just going to rename it. Standard 1 Learner and Learning. Okay. And then it's done. Now I don't want to create anything else until after I get these looking like how I want them to look. The reason is when I'm finished, then it will be very easy to duplicate. See, I'll be able to come down here, and then all of the sections and headings will have the exact same font, the exact same size, and I don't have to rebuild it 9 times. So for my Learner and Learning page, I'm on it, and so now I'm going to click on this and I'm going to edit it. This can just stay here. My header, my horizontal menu can just stay here. But what we want to do first is we want to say, well, how do we want to set it up? I really liked this one. Let's go back to it. It's the waiting room that we're working on. And she's got the standard right here and it's written out. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to go back to my own website. And I'm going to just click on this and delete it. Okay. And this, I'm just going to delete this as well. And I'm going to insert, what do I want to, we will have this be text box, but I don't want a title. This is, I just want this paragraph. You want to make sure that you're going to pick one easy to read font. I'm just going to go with this. It's clean and stylish. Now I'm going to highlight what it was and I'm going to click paste. And there we go. And I can even leave it in the size box if I want. And now I want something that will actually link them to this first standard. So I'm going to create, I'm going to put inside of it an image. Or should we do an image? We can do a round image. No, I'm just going to do a button. There we go. I'm going to do a button. And I click on it. And it takes a second to think. Okay, now I'm going to drag this over here. I think it's a little too small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to turn this into a link. But first, I'm going to click on the inside, and what do I want it to say? I want it to stay standard 1, the learner, and, oh, I can't type. I really can't type. I'm just going to get rid of that's really not necessary. Okay, now where do I want it to link? I have to add a link. So I'm going to click add a link. And I want it to, you could have it go outside of your website, but you don't want to do that. The default is to link to the home page, but we want to change that. We want it to be a page inside of this website. So I'm going to click on the little arrow and I am going to have it link to this, Learner and Learning. And then I'm going to click done. So now I can click preview and this is what it would look like. Oh, this is a bad page that really needs to be cleaned up. But I will do that in the next video. For now, just go back to your editor. You want to go back to this Learner and Learning page, and we want to repeat this process. You won't be able to add the links yet, but you can just take this and you can, wait a minute, can you just right click it? I right clicked and I'm copying the whole thing and I'm going to put it underneath, but this step is in the way, so I'm just deleting, bam. I'm going to paste right here. And this time, I'm going to get rid of this, get rid of this, and get rid of this, and get rid of this. And I, excuse me, I'm going to go back. It is learner or standard 2, learning differences. And I'm just going to click inside here and edit. Whoa. Oh my goodness. It's very sensitive. Oh. See why it takes me so long to do anything? There. Beautiful. Now I can't use this link, but you can just leave it here until you get your other pages created. Make sense? Okay. Then you can just copy this and paste it, pull it down to where you want, make sure everything is centered, go back to the one that you are copying and pasting from. Highlight that, click, paste, bam. Okay, and so do that with all 3 of the first 3 standards and make sure it's pretty, make sure it's the way you want it, because we're just gonna duplicate it.